At it again, and we've got one here from Tim Pool. Now, this is a video topic that I was going to touch on anyway, but then I saw Tim Pool drop the video on it, so I was like, hey, this is perfect. This is perfect. Plus, I've got some things that I would like to add to this that I think are really, really important, that I think a lot of people aren't really paying attention to, and I want to highlight that. So without further ado, because this is probably going to be a longer video, like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button. If you are new, please be aware I do have a scammer in my comment section too that is impersonating me, unfortunately. And yeah, they haven't found a way to get rid of this guy, or girl, I don't know who it is, but the only way to donate to me is through the YouTube platform via a super thanks. That is it. If you get a message or a comment from a profile picture that looks like mine, you know, with the name and everything, and it says, hey, message me, or hey, hop on the Telegram or WhatsApp, that is not me. Do not be scammed. Do not give them any of your information. The only way to donate to me is through the YouTube platform itself via a super thanks. All right, now let's dive in.
We have this tweet here that I want y'all to see so we can talk about. This is from Debate Society of Berkeley. AI is getting out of hand. Y'all got me excited for nothing. And there are several photos AI generated of Trump.
Now, doesn't this look legit? Minus the thumb being bent weirdly. Yeah, that would really hurt. I don't think your thumb's supposed to bend that way, but minus that, this actually looks legit. But there's more.
Being arrested, and they're pretty good. So the first one we're showing is just a bunch of NYPD cops holding Trump, who looks panicked. The next one is Trump apparently resisting arrest as a bunch of cops stand around him and try to lock him up. The next one is this is really funny. This is my favorite one. Trump running, panicked, as some cops aren't even looking at him and are running apparently the other direction. So, okay. And then the last one is Trump once again resisting arrest as cops are, you know, yelling and pinning him down. And this cop here, he's got a strange little hand. You can't really see it. But the reason why I think this is significant, we talked about it before with the AI stuff. People started making fake posts and deep fakes that Trump had already been indicted, that Trump was being arrested, and then they make photos like this. I saw a bunch of these. And
it looks super real. Like, just at a glance, like, you see this image and you're like, hold on, wait, what did I miss? What did I miss? You know, I saw this image and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Is this? Nah, no way. This would have been like breaking news. There's no way. So obviously I was going to touch on this, plus some other things that I'm gonna get into later on in this video. But like I said, Tim Pool touched on it, so I was like, hey, this is perfect.
Going around. People were like, you know, Trump surrenders, and some weren't as crazy as this. But these photos, they're going to be hard to tell if they're real at a glance. Mm-hmm. So what happens in 5,200 years when some kid is looking through the archives and he sees photos and he's like, I don't know which one's the real one?
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's very
dangerous. I mean, history is being erased.
I mean, we just said that it's unlikely that we'll get this big cuffing moment of Trump, but they don't need it if they can just fake it, right? If the idea is that the media, which is dominantly left wing in this country, wants a picture of Trump in handcuffs, all they need to do is, you know, run one on the evening news that's been AI generated and then issue an apology the next day. It's already too late at that point. They've exposed this fake photo.
What happens if someone right now who's, I say, 60 years old, they're not on Twitter, they're not on the internet, they have no idea, and they turn on the Tucker Carlson, they turn on the Fox News, and they're sitting there, and Tucker's like, it's all an outrage. None of this is real. And he's like, yeah, you tell him, Tucker. And then he goes to the bar where he meets up with his friends, and his friend's like, he puts his glass on and says, let me show you this picture. And then he holds it up for everybody, and they see a photograph of Trump being arrested, and they go, no, what is this? Wow. And they believe it because they don't know what's going on. My point is, there are probably a lot of people who genuinely believe Trump was arrested, and these photos may be real.
Listen, I was that person for probably 15 seconds, 20 seconds. When I initially saw that image, I was like, what? You know, I kind of like paused on it, looked at it for a minute, and then I started doing some digging. I was like, okay, yep, gotta touch on this. Because if this actually happened, this is crazy. And then, you know, about 10 seconds later, I'm like, hold on, what am I doing? This would be breaking news. This would be everywhere. Like, there would be nothing on, any news station, any social media site. Everybody would be talking about that. And I was just like, this isn't even worth it. Like, why am I digging for something that's clearly not there? So yeah, this stuff is getting crazy, and I think we need to find some way to corral this before it gets out of hand. Because obviously, I could see some bad actors using this for, some to do some terrible things to folks. Obviously, somebody on the left is going to, conjure up some image of Trump doing some bad act or something and say, "Look, guys, we got photo evidence." And yeah, and some of these images are so good. They're so good that you're just like, wait, is that really a still image, or like, is that fake?
I think it's like the fulfillment of a fantasy for a lot of people. Like, they'll believe the photos, even when you can tell that these are sort of not right. The lighting's not right. That one guy's got a bizarre hand, but it's the fulfillment of this thing that they've been rabidly jonesing for what, 4+ years at this point. They want Trump in handcuffs so badly that they are willing to believe a completely fake photo.
I hope they arrest him.
All those cops are the same cop.
too.
If you look at that picture, they're all the same guy.
No, that's
The cop,
that's
that
what
one,
that's what they look like.
they really, really look
Bro.
similar.
And yeah,
You're just racially profiling New York City
that's right.
cops
You are.
right now?
I see that photo and I'm like, that looks like every protest I've ever been to.
Yeah.
But what I was saying a moment ago is I do hope Trump gets arrested. I really, really hope he does.
Me too.
I hope they go down to Florida. A bunch of cops surround his house. They knock on his door. They get a warrant. Trump answers and they say, Mr. President, you're under arrest. I hope it happens so the facade of our democracy can finally be over. Because I tweeted
that too.
And you get all these lefties laughing and being like, dude, and I'm like, okay, listen. When Barack Obama can murder a 16-year-old American citizen without charge or trial and get nothing,
Allegedly, because I don't know too much about that, so I got to put allegedly out there.
not so much as a bad word could be said about him by any of you people, then you want to arrest Donald Trump because he said, I'll give you some money if you claim that we didn't bang. Like, that's the crime of the century for which you are going to go and arrest. So I'm kidding about going to his house and actually arresting him. But
No, I'm not. Honestly, at this point, I think Trump getting arrested would, and I said this the other day, I think it would supercharge the base, and every true Republican, and I think even some rhinos, the Mitch McConnells probably not so much, but a lot of people would rally behind Uncle Trump, and the whole DeSantis versus Trump thing would fall off the side of a cliff. Over. Trump is the only option for everybody. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And for most people, he still is the option. But if he were arrested, he would be the absolute only option for 98% of Republicans. And then, I would say 75 to 85% of independents, which in my humble opinion would guarantee a win in 2024. It would just be a matter of time. The only thing we'd be waiting on is for 2024 to roll around, or for next election to roll around. That's it. Just be a matter of time. Donald Trump, W. Easy peasy. But what do y'all think?
I hope the arrest happens. I hope he shows up and they say, haha, we got him now. Because then we can stop pretending like these people are anything other than psychopaths who are trying to steal power.
A couple of years ago, when Steve Bannon turned himself
Knock my
in
mic
with the
over.
FBI because of whatever charges they're bringing against him, it was kind of it wasn't the
Sorry about that. I probably sounded horrible. I almost knocked my mic over.
most monumentous moment, but I do remember it being sort of powerful watching him say, like, I'm going to do this, like, we've got to keep fighting, whatever else, going in. And then, like, obviously the legal battle continues, but it does have this moment where you feel like, okay, we've got to move forward. Like, it had weight behind it. In some ways, I feel like Trump, showing up wherever, being like, I'm going to turn myself in, I'm surrendering to custody because, like, we cannot keep going this way, and this is an abuse of power. Like, it will give him a platform in this very powerful moment that, yes, obviously I wish they wouldn't arrest him, but on the other hand, like, I don't think they follow anything logical. They're not bound by the ethics that I think most Americans are bound by. And so we might as well make the most of this thing. Like, that's why I was glad that he announced, like, yes, they're going to arrest me. Like, I'm telling you right now, it's about to happen. Like, this is what our democracy has come to. It's sort of powerful. It's political theater in a way that I wish we didn't have it. On the other hand, I'm glad he's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good thing that he's going to. Well, I mean, it seems obvious that if he's going to be arrested, that he should capitalize on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they're going to make these moves, he should do. Obviously, should do whatever he can.
He shouldn't let them set the narrative.
Yeah, he should definitely do whatever he can to set the narrative. And having pictures of himself in handcuffs or having his mugshot as a campaign ad. As the first president that's ever been arrested by the opposing party when the opposing party is in power, I think that it's powerful. I think that it will matter to.
I disagree on the mugshot part of it, but even if he just were to get quote unquote arrested without the mugshots being released or anything like that, I think that supercharges everything. Because I think for some leftists, seeing the image of him being arrested with the handcuffs and everything is just an immediate turnoff, right? I mean, they already don't like the guy. And then that's like an even bigger thing. Oh, this guy was arrested. Oh, my goodness. Even though that doesn't necessarily disqualify you from becoming a president, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. I could be wrong about that. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comment section. But as far as I know, a simple arrest doesn't disqualify you from being a president. That's not one of the requirements. So I disagree with the mugshot, but I do agree with him being arrested being, a springboard to 2024.
Obviously to MAGA people, and it'll get them fired up, and that could make a difference in the polls, but it's still a long way away, and we don't know who else is going to be running and stuff. So I don't know that this matters in 2024. It'll matter today and for the next, the news cycle, probably for maybe a week or two. But
do you feel like the left's turning Trump into a martyr with this action?
Well, that's exactly what's happening. They've been going after Trump now for decades. It's just not in the last 4 or 6 years, Russia collusion, all that's the impeachment, everything. They're concerned about Donald Trump. And you have to ask yourself, if Donald Trump truly lost the 2020 election, why are they going after him now, right? Why? I mean, if he truly lost the election, why are they going after him? You would think 7 million votes, right? 2020, what did he lose by? 7 million, 71 million?
I think it was like 10 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 10,
okay.
wasn't it?
11 million?
Or maybe you're right. Maybe it was like 7 or 8.
Okay, but the point is, he lost by several million.
I thought it was closer to 10, because wasn't it like 81 to like 74 million or something, maybe? Right? Or 82? Something like that. I don't know.
Electors by 60 or 70. You would think you'd want the same guy coming back in 4 years. Why don't they want that man coming back? Why do they feel they have to paint him as like a criminal, that this guy's got to be put in jail, put in handcuffs?
Because
they are so afraid of him.
Because people saw Joe Biden. You could only get away with a Joe Biden one time, and they know it.
Well, do you think Joe Biden's is he the nominee?
Oh, yeah.
He is.
I mean, what are they going to do? Who are they going to get?
Well, I don't know.
Oprah?
Maybe Michelle wants to jump in there, but I tell you something. I'm sending Joe Biden $25. I want Joe Biden to be the nominee so bad. I hope that's who they have. They have a short bench. I got it. Very, very limited.
I don't think it's a bench. It's like a chair.
Well, I want him to be the nominee
Wheelchair.
so bad because Donald Trump's going to be the nominee. He'll be the 47th president.
I agree.
Yeah.
When you had that year, a year is an eternity in politics.
Now, we could probably end that there, but that is interesting. That's a very interesting point he brought up there. If they really felt like he lost, which, we'll say he did for the sake of this video. So he lost. Joe's the president. Why do they still feel the need to bury him when he wants to try to come back and run again when they've already beat him? Wouldn't you want him to step back up to the plate? Because that's what I want for Joe. I want Joe right back up to bat. Listen, I don't want Joe retiring. Okay? I don't want Joe to sit on the bench. No. Come on right back up. Swing, batter, swing, I want Joe. And I've talked about this before. I don't want anybody else. Somebody else getting up there worries me. And I've talked about this before in previous videos. Because they were talking about either Kamala taking his spot or Michelle Obama. And I'm like, that is worrisome. Especially if you want to talk about somebody like Michelle. That worries me. I want Joe. So why don't they want Trump? That's a very interesting take right there. That gave me some cause to pause. Wow. But on the other hand, with all of this going on, what else is going on behind the scenes that we aren't really paying attention to anymore? And this is what I wanted to dive into, regarding this whole situation, along with the photos and things. What are we forgetting about? Right before all this happened, SVB Bank, government took over that. Last I heard, some other banks were on the brink of collapsing. I think there were some other banks that actually did basically collapse. What are we missing by this going on and this being the dominant narrative circling the media? Which, I mean, it is a big topic of discussion. I will say that, but it gives me a cause to pause because I stopped and thought about it for a minute, and I'm like, and listen, stick around today because I'm gonna drop some YouTube shorts that you guys are definitely gonna want to see. Okay, you guys are definitely gonna want to see those. But it gave me some cause to pause. Like, what are we missing? Like, what are we forgetting about? I believe there was a nuclear plant that leaked some hazardous stuff into an area. I want to say that was in Minnesota. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section. I forgot the exact place. I heard about that story. Nuclear. I think it was a nuclear plant that leaked some hazardous stuff. Obviously, we have the train derailment that happened in Ohio, that we touched on, that whole situation. Like, what are we missing? I think GZP, the leader of China, if I remember correct, went to go meet with Putin. Okay, which obviously is worrisome. I don't think it's the first time they've met though. But that's still, like, huh? What are we missing, guys? What are we potentially being distracted from? Maybe we're not being distracted from anything, but what are we potentially being distracted from? That's what I wanted to bring to you guys and pose to you all was that question there. What are we missing? Because without revealing too much, and you'll see the YouTube shorts later on today. Stick around. But there's not a whole lot that's going to come about from this. Even if he is arrested, from what I understand, the charges, they're like this. Slap on the wrist. Bad Trump. At worst, slap on the wrist. Bad Trump. At best, completely dismissed and not even, nothing really comes about it. But this stuff is it's crazy, man. To sit here and try to decipher through everything, with the whole Trump situation, figuring out what's all going on with that, and honestly kind of hoping for an arrest. But then, like, what are we actually missing? And sitting here and pondering about that as well. But then also, and I'll leave you guys with this because I know this video has gotten kind of long. Don't go out and protest. I know. It is our right to do so. It is our right. But I will say this. That's exactly what they want. They want the images of, rioting and, people being angry, protesting, and they want those images because they don't have very many of them. They have J6, and that's about it. We've got a lot of images of them destroying stuff and being terrible and ignorant folks and yelling all type of profanities at folks. We've got all types of footage. They don't have very much on us. But if you do choose to go out and exercise your right, that they try to say Trump is a terrible person for telling people to go out and exercise their right to do so, but the left always does it. That's a complete hypocrisy, but we won't even touch on that. If you do decide to go out, make sure you call out any fake Trump supporters. Any fake Trump supporters need to be called out and put on camera. Your phones, make sure you record these folks. Make sure you record them. Not only record them, but also record the peaceful, true Trump supporters. Because real Trump supporters know what's going on. Real Trump supporters know what the left wants is us to be violent and to tear things apart and do all types of reckless stuff and to be a nuisance and all of the other, this, that, and the third, so that they have some clips to run to their, zombies that follow them. That's what they want. And true Trump supporters know that. So true Trump supporters aren't going to be out here acting ignorant. Most of them probably won't even protest. Because, what's really going to come about from this? As far as I know, basically nothing. Except for a guaranteed win in 24. So if you do decide to exercise your right, expose the fakes and the frauds, call them out, get them on camera, show the peaceful true Trump supporters. So even if, mainstream media decides to use your clip, the peaceful true Trump supporters are also in that same clip. All right? And then, of course, stop them from whatever it is that they are doing. If they're burning something, if they're tearing something down, if they're spray painting something, stop them. Call the authorities. All right? Because that's what the left wants. They want us to be ignorant. And we'll never give them what they want. Peace and love. I'm out.